Hello folks and welcome back. We are going to be learning live all over you, obviously. Now, the actual tuning for this, if you want to play along with the album, is down half a step. So your whole guitar goes down half a step or 1 fret, okay? So the E would become E flat and etc. I'm not going to do that today to teach you. I'm going to teach you it in standard tuning, but just bear that in mind if you want to play along with the album. So first things first, let's deal with the tones. You're going to need some dirt for the most of this, actually. I'm using this bad boy. Which is the Stika from Tube Steader, and it's basically a fully fledged preamp in a pedal. It's got tubes in it and everything. Demo coming for that soon. This also has 2 channels. This is just my amp with the pedal off. This is the Sunkeeper clean tone. So it just lifts it up really nicely. And I'm going to middle pickup position for that. Because it's got that kind of twanginess to it. Now I'm also adding the subtlest touch of flanger to this using the Past Effects flanger. It's brilliant, brilliant flanger, and it's got a blend knob. I love a blend knob, so good because you can really tame the tone. So this is it without, this is it with. It's super subtle, right? But it just adds a little something. Later on in the tune, the other thing I'm using is the Lillian phaser. And I'm using it for the kind of middle 8 part, which goes... So it's a super subtle phaser that I'm adding to that. I think this sounds pretty close. So essentially, if you don't have these pedals, you're going to need a distortion and some light modulation for those 2 sections, if you care. Don't have to if you don't want to. So let's learn this, shall we? First riff goes like this. Brilliant stuff. So that also doubles up as part of the chorus. So you've got a G to an F sharp, but I'm using the open G to a bar chord shape. You could play if you find that easier, but I think I saw at least one of them playing it like this. And I just like how that sounds, so I'm going to stick with that. So it's down, 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 down. Then you go to a B minor, so everything moves up 1 string. Okay, so that would be. So that's up, up when you go to the B minor, and then to a 1-fingered A chord. Down, up, down. And then you go to this, D sus2. So you've got flatten your first finger on the 5th fret there, and you're going to play a power chord basically with your 3rd and 4th fingers. But you do a... and then you start doing some picking. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just arpeggiate the top 3 in that pattern. So you do the same thing 3 times essentially. So the whole part slowly. 3, 4. Then you do most of it again. You just leave that ring out. Then verse riff, so I've gone middle pickup and clean channel with a little bit of a flange. Probably a bit of chorus. You could probably use anything here, but I really like this. So again, you're going to do this D shape, but you're going to arpeggiate. Okay, so you go... pretty straightforward. And then first finger down here. Pretty much the same picking pattern. So that's an A chord. Then you go to an F, G to A. Okay, So you're just picking out those notes like that. Don't worry about it too much. Essentially, it's... And when you go to the G shape, I'm just fretting it like that with 2 fingers, because the 5th string gets muted by the angle of your 2nd finger there, right? So that's just... So you play that whole thing round twice, and then the 3rd time you're going to go into the chorus after it. So this leads in with... So a little fill there. Which is why it's quite cool to have your 1st finger there. Then you've got... If you can, I mean, I wouldn't bother. I would just do that, right? But you could use your 3rd finger and the pick. Play those 2 notes at the same time, because I hear something going on there. It might be because there's a couple of guitars playing, but you could put that in if you want. Or just arpeggiate it. And when you get here, you've got to do a little bit of dancing to turn all this stuff off, right? He probably doesn't do this live. I imagine that he doesn't do any of this jumping about, but I was trying to get it close to how it sounds on the album. So what I would do, when you get to the F, I'm going to turn off the flange, right? And when I get to that part, I'm going to knock that down. So again, got the flanger on, so I'm going to go off. And then I turn on the distortion. So let me go through that one more time and I'll do all the stomping about. Alright, and then you're into the next bit. So that's how I would do it. If you're not bothered, you're going to find this a lot easier. Chorus part. Very familiar. You already know it. It's the intro. You play that twice, and then you come out of this into a shorter version, which goes... like that. Okay, so basically you're going G, F, B, but with this, so that slowly is, okay, so you should hear that when you listen to the original, right? So slowly it would be. Okay, pretty straightforward. Then you go to an E, and then an A sus2. And then you're back into the verse. Second verse is pretty much the same, but you just play when you go from the verse into the chorus again, right? So that would be 3, 4, and then back into the chorus again, right? So it's just a subtle rhythmic variation. And then you go round the chorus riff again, and then you tag on this part. When you're coming out of this bit, you go to a C chord, and you could just do 8th notes, but it sounds a bit gallopy to me, so one thing you could do is this. Okay, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. And then one of my favourite riffs in this, you've got the middle 8 section. So phaser on, and you got... Now there are 2 fills in this. The first one is this. Second one is... So the first part's the same. I'm fretting it like with my 2nd and 3rd finger, for good reason, because I think it's an E power chord, and then down, up, and then you're going to take your second finger off and drop it down one string, right? So the riff is... But you try and keep the power chord in, or at least the E5. And I love that. I think that sounds correct to my ears anyway. Then you put your little finger on the second fret above where your third finger's currently sitting. And you play that little fill. And the next one is... Okay, and you alternate between those. He basically does this one first. This one second, and he repeats it twice. And then he does that one twice, and then this last one he does another 3 times. And then you go back to the clean tone, which is just... Then back into the arpeggiated bit. Alright, and it's basically just building up momentum there. So just as per the tab, right, I'll play it through once again slowly. All your fingers come off on that last bit. And then... Okay, then we've got round the chorus again, but then it key change, and here I would just play bar chords. So you're going to play. Okay, and then... And that's the ending, basically. So, pretty straightforward. That should be easy enough, but you're going to play just that very similar pattern that you played before, right? Do that 3 times, and then you go... And then back into... And that's it, you're done. Hope you enjoyed that one. See you again soon.